So we are here, we're running late. So I'm going to tell you a little bit about Zwift as I ride. Today on the Zwift Big Spin, I'm Ken, this is the Black British Cyclist. I cycle for fun, encouraging lots of chats as I ride, talking about Zwift cycling, anything fitness. As I'm cycling today on the Zwift Big Spin, we're going for the spin wheel. We're trying to get the BMX, the coveted neon coloured BMX, pastel coloured BMX. Whew. So it's just a chill ride. Zone 2. We are doing the Douche in France. So it's around about 24 kilometres and about 135 metres of elevation, so a relatively flat route. If you was here on Monday, you saw me ride this on Monday. Whew, breathless. I'm back to ride it again, but I want to actually show you a few examples of different turbo trainers that you can use or buy if you want to get started on Zwift. Starting at very budget, going up to the same one that I've got. So I've called them like low, mid and high. So we talk about that once we get started. I'm gonna need to jump into the pen actually and get going. Also, I'll be taking questions from the chat. I'll be talking about the Zwift Powerups, how to use them, demonstrating some drafting skills, and sort of like best tips of how to ride the most efficient when you're riding Zwift. But the most important thing is, get out there, turn the pedals, enjoy it, and just enjoy the ride. So, here we go. So if you're new to Zwift, this is some useful tips and information on what happens when you start a Zwift ride. So we are all in the pen waiting to start the Douche France. Currently there are 428 people in the pen, more joining as the race clock ticks down. Now you'll find I'm at the front of the queue even though I've only literally just joined. So I did actually join the race. You can join any race or group event 30 minutes before the ride starts. And I did that just to get a good position. Now if you're looking to race, it's very sort of like strategic to get in there as close to the start the pen time as possible, so you can start at the front of the pack and not have to work your way through when you get started. I'm not racing, I'm just chilling. I just wanted to get all set up nice and early before the ride starts. Here I am. So yeah, so you join the pen, you can stay in there and start pedaling, or you can exit out, do some more riding, get your water bottle sorted, get a towel. Little tips, and then as you're in here, you can give a few ride-ons. So you open up the Zwift companion app, and you can just press the little circle, that is where the map is. And I'll give a ride-on to the 5 or 6 Zwifters who are in your vicinity. But right now, the clock is ticking down. You know what it goes. Let's go! Ah. Yes, I reckon there won't be as many in today's ride as there was on Monday, because it's been going for 4 days now. But I reckon we might get up to 700, maybe 800 riders all riding. Wish me luck. We are trying to get the BMX on the spin wheel and just going round. So welcome to anyone who's joining for the first time. If you like what you see, there's a button to show that. It's called the subscribe. Doesn't cost you anything, but it really does help get this video out to more people, so thank you. Nearly 600 people riding. And if you want to get an idea as to where these riders come from, if you look just over on the right hand side of the screen where I'm facing forwards, just here, there's me. You'll see all the other riders in the order that they appear on the screen. A little flag symbol tells you the country they're from. And you can also see the power they're putting out. So I'm 2.2 watts per kilogram. Person in front's doing 2.7. And you can also see how many seconds each rider is behind or in front of you. Perfect for when you're looking to bridge the gap, or just work out how much of a lead you've got. Oh, getting a bit steeper, 4%. I'm going to wait until I've got some of the climbs, and then I'll talk a little bit about what you need to get started in Zwift. If if you want to get started on Zwift, there's a few essentials that you need in order to get going. The first one's obvious. It's a bike. Now, you're not restricted to having to get the Zwift bike or the Wahoo bike. You can use any bike that you've got. I've opted for a dedicated road bike that pretty much just stays in this room, set up on the turbo trainer, so it's all ready to go. But I do have the luxury of having a number of different bikes to choose from. If you've only got one bike, it's pretty straightforward. Attaching your bike to a turbo trainer, it will pretty much use whatever release system your bike has. So if you've got the skewer quick release, that will just slot in. If you've got like the bolts, usually each turbo trainer comes with a set of adapters, so you can change the fitting. But if you've got a more modern bike with a through axle, you just need to switch the adapters around, and it's as easy as changing the wheel. And I know changing the wheel isn't always easy, but I've done a video on it. There's other videos you can watch on YouTube. So you need a bike, and then you need a turbo trainer. So I'm going to show you a few examples. Boom. Okay, so I've got example one. Now this is a basic turbo trainer. It's called a wheel on. You can get these for anything from about £50 upwards, really, to about £200. Now it's not smart, so it won't adjust the resistance as you're riding. But if you want a tight budget and you just want to be able to attach your bike and get going, then a wheel on turbo trainer, where the back wheel fits onto like a roller pad, and then pressure is applied, so the resistance is caused by the contact of the roller against the pad and the back wheel. Now you will need a couple of extras, so you need to factor that into the price, like a speed and cadence sensor. That's tiny little thing. Costs you anything between £10 and £20. So that's so it can calculate the rotations of the wheel and your speed. And you'll also need something that's going to measure the power. But that's your basic to get you started. Like a tier list. There you go. So the first one was the Van Roy. I've just picked any bike that's available in my local store, which just happens to be Decathlon. I'm not affiliated. There were no links. There's nothing sponsored. Just to give you an idea of the types of turbo trainers that are out there and what you need to spend as a minimum and a mid-range upwards to get started. So the first one I showed you was the Van Rysel InRide 100. You can see I've got details there, and that's only £100. The one that's up now, another one from Van Rysel, it's called the Home Trainer D100. It gives you a maximum power of between 500 and 750 watts, so more sprints a bit powerful than that, so doesn't mean that you can't sprint that power, it's just not going to register it as over that power. So if you want to do racing, it's probably not the sort of turbo trainer you want to use. You're going to want to go up to the next level, and you want to get something along the lines of what I've got. So this is the Doretto X. It's by Elite. This one is currently £100 off, and it's £600. I've had a lot more when I got this, but that was at the peak. All the stock was low. Everyone was looking to get onto turbo trainers, but I think it's still reasonably priced. I've had mine for 4 years. I've never had to do any servicing, any maintenance. It just works, and on a good week, I'm on it like 5 days a week, so anything say between 3 and 7 hours. So really solid machine. And this particular model will give you a power reading of up to 2100 watts. Now I can't even get anywhere near that. I haven't even reached 1500, so more than enough accuracy there. The actual accuracy is actually accurate in terms of the speed and the power of about 0.5% plus or minus. It has Bluetooth and ANT Plus connections, so that's all good. So you've got a choice there, budget £100, but bear in mind, you need to spend about an extra £50 or more in order to make it rideable with Zwift. Then you've got mid-range. This is a wheel-on turbo, no, sorry, a direct drive turbo trainer, and it comes with the Zwift hub. And this is currently £280. So it's probably the cheapest that you'll get on, but obviously the power isn't going to register that high. So if you're a relatively low-level rider, new to cycling, it'll be perfectly fine. But you'll probably find that you might want to upgrade to a bigger machine as your riding improves, or you start wanting to do more races or long distance events. Then you've got this other option, which is the sort of like upper tier, £600. You can spend a lot more, although I guess it's personal choice. They all connect to the Zwift app, and it's about the effort you put out. So it's your legs, you riding, that determines how much power comes out. Right, so that is your basic introduction to getting started with a turbo trainer and what you need to get started. I'm going to go back to the normal screen. Just by magic, we are back. So now that we are here on the Zwift screen and I've fallen off the back of the pack, it's probably the perfect time for me to demonstrate how to get back onto the pack into the drafting position. So you can see the pack ahead. I'm going to look at the map, the number of riders just ahead of me. I can see they've got a 3-second lead, and they're going at about 2 watts per kilogram. So as long as I can pedal harder, I'm currently 4 watts per kilogram, I will catch them up. I'm just going to pick up the pace, but I need to make sure that as I get nearer, I ease off the power so I don't shoot past them completely. So the seconds are ticking down, 1 second. I'm drawing nearer. As I get closer, I will have the little Zwift indicator pop up, telling me how close I am to the draft. So I'm easing off, easing off, easing off, and there you go. Adjust your pedaling, settle in, and now I can use this time to recover. So what I'm going to do, because I've just burnt some energy, I'm going to fire off this draft Powerup just by using the companion app, and that's going to increase the current draft benefit that I'm getting by an additional 10% for 30 seconds. You can see the timer just ticking down above. And take some nice deep breaths, get back into a rhythm, yeah, and just enjoy the ride. I'm still drafting, so I'm not pedaling any harder than what I need to. I'm being sheltered from some of that draft, that wind in front. There you go. Easy drafting tips 101. Now what you also do, this is kind of like etiquette, when you're riding in a group, you will share the person who is taking all that headwind in front. So this one, you worm. What an amazing name. He's currently taking what we call a pull. I'm probably a little bit close, but the worm is still in front. Okay, so he's eased up a bit. I'm going to take a bit of a pull. I'm just going to increase my rotation, my power a little bit, then ease off slightly, so I can just be in front. Although it looks like this woman, she's either going ahead, or she's decided that she wants to take a pull. Either way, this is nice and chill. And what you will find when you are riding in Zwift, sometimes it's about a race. Other times people are just riding at their own pace, whether they're doing their own personal workout, just riding for fun, or riding at a zone which is comfortable to them. So you'll find you'll get a group who are matched at the right pace. We seem to be going at about between 1.7 and 2 watts per kilogram. And we just sit in. this ride nice and consistently all the way to the end. So there's 15 kilometers left to go. So we talk a little bit about the screen once again. So you've got all your metrics at the top of the screen from the top left. You can see the current power I'm putting out: 124, 180, 153 watts. That's the power coming through my pedals. Actually, it's been measured by the turbo trainer because my pedals are actually flat. I forgot to charge them. Below that, you've got the RPM. Again, this turbo trainer has a built-in cadence sensor, so it's registering the cadence. Anyway, my heart rate is next to that, 140 BPM. Heart rate monitor, optional. And then you can also see my current watts per kilogram, 1.7 watts per kilogram. And the one with the 11 and the SP, that's just showing the effort of the ride for today. So at the end, I'll have a stress point score, which will probably be around about 40, maybe 35. Anyway, middle of the screen, speed, distance, elevation climbed, time elapsed. You can see all of my drops. I'm on 10.5 million. So I've showed you some drafting tips, how to get in. I think another thing to do, especially if you're riding comfortably, you're not really racing, you're just a nice group ride. When you get moments like this, which can be rare, it's probably useful to use it just to do a little self-recce. Check your surroundings, check yourself. Is your position good? Are you gripping the handlebars too much? Can you loosen your grip? Are you locked out or stiff? Can you like just relax a bit? You don't want to be gripping the handlebars for life. You want to be holding it for balance, but you should be able to move your hands off, just kind of rested on top. You might also want to try a few positions. So right now, I am on the hoods on the top. The curvy bit at the bottom is called the drops, and that's where you want to get into your aero position. Top down, getting that wind resistance, and you really want to not just get down, you want to really drop your shoulders, tuck your elbows in, so you're making yourself as narrow as possible. Now obviously that doesn't matter when you're indoors. The wind is just coming from a fan, but outdoors it can make all the difference. Sort of like here, if you're just chilling, going for long distance, not really going at speed, that's fine, but all that wind is hitting you. You're top down, you're more aerodynamic, even more so in the drops. And don't worry about not being able to reach your brakes. You've got your finger reach, which can still get you to your brakes. So if I'm going fast downhill, I tend to have my two fingers just covering the brakes, in the same way I would do if I was on my motorbike, but just to be able to react quickly if I need to. But we're indoors, so that doesn't matter. I'm Ken Dizzle, the Black Cyclist, cycling all the way through 25 and beyond. Join me 5 days a week as I cycle live from the Wattage Cottage, checking out different Zwift routes, group ride events, giving you demos about how to use the Zwift app as I ride the bike, tips on cycling, some get you started information, how to get started in Zwift and set up. And of course I'm taking questions all through the stream as I ride live through 2025. Let's go! Do you know what? Thank you all for watching. If I wasn't doing this stream, I probably wouldn't have the motivation.